A police dog kept watch over a homeless man. Then one night, everything changed. The city lights blurred into streaks of color as Officer Mike Donovan sped through the streets of Seattle, his patrol car's siren wailing a symphony of urgency. Beside him, Rex, his loyal German Shepherd partner, sat alert, his ears perked, his nose twitching, his body thrumming with the anticipation of the chase. Rex, a veteran of the Seattle Police Department's K-9 unit, was a magnificent specimen, his black and tan coat gleaming under the streetlights, his muscles rippling beneath his sleek fur, his eyes sharp and intelligent, reflecting the years of training and experience that had honed his skills as a police dog. He was more than just a partner to Officer Donovan. He was a trusted companion, a loyal friend, an extension of his own senses and instincts. They had been together for 5 years, their bond forged in the crucible of countless patrols, drug busts, and suspect apprehensions, their shared experiences creating a connection that transcended the boundaries of their respective species. Officer Donovan, a young man with a square jaw and a steely determination in his eyes, had always had a passion for police work, his desire to serve and protect a driving force in his life. But it was his partnership with Rex that had brought him the greatest fulfillment. The dog's unwavering loyalty and keen instincts a constant source of support and admiration. They were a formidable team, their reputation preceding them on the streets of Seattle. Rex's keen sense of smell, his ability to track suspects and detect hidden contraband, had led to countless arrests and the recovery of stolen goods. His presence a deterrent to those who sought to break the law. His courage in the face of danger, his unwavering loyalty to his handler, his gentle nature with those in need, had earned him the respect and affection of his fellow officers and the community he served. Tonight, their patrol was focused on the downtown core, its bustling streets and shadowed alleyways a haven for drug dealers and petty criminals. Officer Donovan, his senses alert, scanned the sidewalks, his eyes searching for any signs of suspicious activity, his hand resting on the holster of his service weapon, his mind prepared for the unexpected. Rex, his senses heightened, his body thrumming with anticipation, sat poised, his gaze fixed on the passing crowds, his nose twitching as he processed the myriad of scents that filled the night air. He was a finely tuned instrument, his training and instincts a symphony of awareness, his every sense focused on assisting his partner, his loyalty unwavering, his dedication to their shared mission absolute. And as they cruised through the city streets, their presence a beacon of authority and protection, they had no idea that their routine patrol was about to take an unexpected turn, a detour that would lead them down a path of compassion, connection, and the enduring power of the human-animal bond. The patrol car slowed as Officer Donovan turned down a narrow alleyway, its darkness a stark contrast to the brightly lit streets they had just left. The alley, a labyrinth of overflowing dumpsters and graffiti-covered walls, was a known haven for drug deals and petty crime, its shadows concealing the underbelly of the city's vibrant facade. Officer Donovan, his hand resting on his holster, his eyes scanning the dimly lit corners, felt a familiar surge of adrenaline, his senses heightened by the potential for danger. Rex, his body tensing, his ears perked, his nose twitching, mirrored his partner's alertness, his instincts honed by years of training and experience on the streets. A sudden movement in the shadows caught Rex's attention, his keen eyes piercing the darkness, his body instinctively leaning towards the source of the disturbance. He whined softly, his signal alerting Officer Donovan to the presence of something, or someone, hidden in the alley's depths. "What is it, boy?" Officer Donovan whispered, his voice a low rumble in the quiet alleyway. "What do you see?" Rex, unable to articulate his observations, responded with a series of insistent whines and nudges, his body straining towards the shadows, his tail wagging with a mix of curiosity and caution. Officer Donovan, trusting his partner's instincts, cautiously approached the source of the disturbance, his flashlight beam cutting through the darkness, its light revealing a figure huddled beneath a pile of discarded blankets. It was a man, his ragged clothes offering little protection against the chill of the night air, his face hidden in the shadows, his body trembling with a mix of cold and fear. Officer Donovan, his initial apprehension giving way to a sense of compassion, knelt beside the man, his voice a gentle inquiry in the stillness. "Sir, are you all right?" he asked, his words carrying a concern that transcended his role as a police officer. The man, startled by the sudden intrusion, his body tensing, his eyes widening with fear, slowly emerged from his makeshift shelter, his gaze meeting Officer Donovan's with a mix of apprehension and a desperate plea for understanding. He was an older man, his face weathered and etched with the lines of hardship, his eyes reflecting a lifetime of struggles and a deep-seated sadness. He wore a tattered coat, its faded fabric offering little warmth against the biting wind, his hands, calloused and worn, clutching a battered backpack, its contents a meager collection of his worldly possessions. Officer Donovan, his heart touched by the man's vulnerability, his own experiences with loss and hardship resonating with the silent plea in his eyes, lowered his flashlight, its beam now illuminating the man's face, revealing the details that spoke of a life lived on the fringes of society. He introduced himself, his voice carrying a warmth that belied his official role, his words an offering of reassurance and a bridge between their different worlds. The man, his initial fear subsiding, his voice a raspy whisper in the quiet alleyway, responded with his name, Jack, and as they exchanged a few hesitant words, their conversation a tentative exploration of their shared humanity. Rex, his curiosity piqued by the encounter, approached cautiously, his tail wagging gently, his presence a silent observer in the unfolding drama. He sniffed at Jack's outstretched hand, his warm breath tickling the man's weathered skin, his gentle nudge a gesture of acceptance and a silent plea for connection. Jack, his heart touched by the dog's unexpected kindness, reached out to stroke his fur, his touch a comforting reassurance in the face of his own vulnerability. And in that moment, as the city lights flickered above them, casting long shadows that danced on the alley walls, an unlikely bond began to form, a connection between a police dog and a homeless man, their shared experiences of loneliness and a yearning for companionship bridging the gap between their different worlds. Their encounter a testament to the enduring power of empathy and the unexpected friendships that could blossom in the darkest corners of the city. The encounter in the alleyway sparked an unusual connection between Rex and Jack, a bond that transcended their vastly different worlds. Officer Donovan, witnessing the interaction between his canine partner and the homeless man, felt a warmth spread through him, a sense of wonder at the unexpected friendship that was blossoming before his eyes. He had always known Rex to be a highly trained and disciplined police dog, his focus unwavering, his loyalty to his handler absolute. But in this moment, he saw a different side to his partner, a gentle compassion that extended beyond the boundaries of his duties, a yearning for connection that mirrored the loneliness he had often sensed in the man's eyes. He watched as Rex, his tail wagging gently, his head nuzzling against Jack's hand, seemed to offer comfort and reassurance to the man who had sought refuge in the shadows. He saw the gratitude in Jack's eyes, the way his weathered face softened as he stroked Rex's fur, his touch a silent acknowledgement of the dog's kindness. Officer Donovan, his own heart touched by the scene, decided to indulge his partner's unusual affection. He allowed Rex to spend a few moments with Jack, their interaction a quiet interlude in the midst of the bustling city, their connection a testament to the enduring power of empathy and the unexpected friendships that could blossom in the most unlikely of circumstances. He watched as they sat together, their silence a shared language, their presence a comfort in the face of their individual struggles. He saw the way Jack's tense shoulders relaxed, his weathered face softening with a smile, his eyes reflecting a warmth that had been absent for far too long. He saw the way Rex's tail wagged with a gentle rhythm, his head resting on Jack's lap, his eyes half closed in contentment, his presence a source of solace and companionship for the man who had found refuge in the shadows. and as the minutes turned into an hour, their bond deepened, their connection a silent symphony of understanding and acceptance. Officer Donovan, his own heart touched by their friendship, felt a renewed appreciation for the complexities of life, the unexpected connections that could weave a tapestry of hope and healing in the midst of the city's chaos. He knew that their encounter was a fleeting one, a momentary pause in the relentless rhythm of their lives. But he also knew that the memory of this connection, this unlikely friendship between a police dog and a homeless man, would stay with him, a reminder of the compassion that could exist even in the harshest of environments, the enduring power of empathy that could bridge the gap between different worlds. He finally called Rex back to the patrol car, their departure a reluctant farewell, their shared glance a silent acknowledgement of the bond they had witnessed, their journey continuing through the city streets, their hearts a little lighter, their spirits a little brighter, their faith in the goodness of humanity renewed by the unexpected encounter in the alleyway. The weeks that followed the encounter in the alleyway brought a new rhythm to Rex and Officer Donovan's patrols. Their usual route, a circuit through the bustling city streets, now included a detour down the narrow alley where they had first met Jack. Rex, his senses alert, would strain at his leash, his eagerness to see his newfound friend evident in his every movement. Officer Donovan, his own curiosity piqued by the unusual bond, would indulge his partner, allowing him a few moments to greet Jack, their exchange a silent conversation of shared understanding and affection. Jack, his weathered face etched with a hopeful anticipation, would emerge from his makeshift shelter, his hands callous but gentle as he stroked Rex's fur, his voice a raspy whisper of greeting, his eyes reflecting the gratitude he felt for the dog's companionship. Their encounters became a ritual, a brief respite from the harsh realities of their respective worlds, a connection that offered solace and a sense of belonging in the midst of the city's relentless energy. Rex, his loyalty to his handler unwavering, found a new dimension to his duties, his protective instincts extending beyond the realm of law enforcement to encompass the vulnerable man who had touched his heart. He would often bring Jack small gifts, a discarded scarf to ward off the cold, a half-eaten sandwich salvaged from a nearby dumpster, his offerings a testament to his canine compassion and his desire to ease the man's hardships. Jack, his heart warmed by the dog's generosity, would accept the gifts with a grateful smile, his eyes reflecting the deep appreciation he felt for the unexpected friendship. But their peaceful interludes were destined to be shattered, their bond tested by the unpredictable nature of police work and the ever-present threat of danger that lurked in the shadows of the city. One night, a call crackled through the police radio, its urgency a stark contrast to the quiet hum of the patrol car. A drug bust, a high-stakes operation involving a known dealer and a suspected cache of weapons, was underway, its location a notorious warehouse district on the outskirts of the city. Officer Donovan, his adrenaline surging, his instincts honed by years of training, responded to the call, his voice a calm acknowledgement of the assignment, his hands gripping the steering wheel, his foot pressing down on the accelerator, the patrol car's siren wailing a symphony of urgency as they raced towards the scene. Rex, his senses heightened, his body thrumming with anticipation, sat poised beside his handler, his eyes fixed on the flashing lights and the chaotic scene that unfolded before them. He knew his duty, his role in the operation, his training and instincts a weapon against the criminal element that threatened the safety of their city. They arrived at the warehouse, its imposing structure a dark silhouette against the night sky, its windows boarded up, its entrance guarded by a group of menacing figures. Officer Donovan, his weapon drawn, his voice a commanding presence in the tense atmosphere, barked orders to his fellow officers, their movements a coordinated dance of strategy and precision as they surrounded the building. Rex, his leash released, his body a blur of motion, charged towards the entrance, his bark a warning to those inside, his presence a deterrent to any resistance. He burst through the door, his keen senses guiding him through the darkness, his powerful body a force to be reckoned with. He cornered a suspect, his growls echoing through the warehouse, his teeth bared, his stance a threat that sent shivers down the man's spine. The suspect, his eyes wide with fear, his hands raised in surrender, dropped his weapon. His capture a testament to Rex's training and his unwavering loyalty to his handler. But as Officer Donovan moved in to secure the arrest, a sudden commotion erupted from the back of the warehouse. The sound of gunfire and shattering glass, a chaotic symphony that shattered the tense silence. Rex, his instincts kicking in, his protective instincts overriding his training, lunged towards the source of the commotion, his body a shield for his handler, his determination to protect his partner a primal force that propelled him forward. He tackled a fleeing suspect, his powerful jaws clamping down on the man's arm, his weight bringing him crashing to the ground, his growls a victorious roar amidst the chaos. But as the suspect struggled to break free, his flailing arms striking out in desperation, a sharp pain shot through Rex's leg, a searing sensation that sent him yelping in pain, his grip loosening, his body collapsing onto the concrete floor. Officer Donovan, his heart pounding with fear for his partner, rushed to Rex's side, his voice filled with concern, his hands gently examining the injured leg, his eyes searching for the source of the pain. He found it, a deep gash, the blood oozing from the wound, a testament to the suspect's desperate attempt to escape, a cruel reminder of the dangers they faced in their line of duty. He called for a medic, his voice urgent, his words carrying a mix of fear and anger, his concern for Rex overriding the adrenaline that still coursed through his veins. He held Rex close, his touch a comforting reassurance, his voice a soft murmur against his fur. "You'll be okay, boy," he whispered, his words a desperate plea for his partner's survival, his heart heavy with the knowledge that their partnership, their bond, their shared journey, might be irrevocably altered by the events of this night. The sterile environment of the veterinary clinic, a stark contrast to the chaotic scene at the warehouse, offered little comfort to Officer Donovan as he paced anxiously in the waiting room. Rex, his injured leg bandaged, his body weary from the ordeal, lay quietly on the examination table, his eyes reflecting the pain and confusion that mirrored his handler's own emotions. Dr. Emily Harris, the clinic's owner and a renowned veterinarian with a compassionate heart and a gentle touch, had examined Rex thoroughly, her expert hands carefully probing the wound, her brow furrowed with concern as she assessed the extent of the damage. She explained the situation to Officer Donovan, her voice calm but grave, her words painting a grim picture of Rex's future. The injury, though not life-threatening, was severe, the tendons and ligaments damaged beyond repair, his mobility compromised, his ability to perform his duties as a K-9 officer irrevocably altered. Officer Donovan, his heart sinking with each word, felt a wave of despair wash over him. He had known the risks of their profession, the ever-present danger that lurked in the shadows of the city, the possibility of injury or even death a constant companion in their line of duty. But he had never allowed himself to consider the possibility of losing Rex, his partner, his friend, the dog who had become an extension of himself, his loyalty and courage a source of strength and inspiration. The thought of their partnership ending, their bond severed by the cruel hand of fate, filled him with a grief that mirrored the emptiness he had felt when his father, a police officer himself, had been killed in the line of duty years ago. He looked at Rex, his eyes filled with a mix of love and regret, his voice thick with emotion as he spoke to his loyal companion. "I'm so sorry, boy," he whispered, his words carrying the weight of his guilt and his fear for the dog's future. "I should have protected you, Rex," his understanding transcending the boundaries of language, nuzzled his handler's hand, his soft whimpers a testament to their bond, his gesture a reassurance that he held no blame, his loyalty unwavering despite the pain and uncertainty that lay ahead. Dr. Harris, witnessing the depth of their connection, the unspoken language of love and loyalty that flowed between them, felt a pang of sympathy, her own heart touched by their plight. She had seen countless animals and their human companions pass through her clinic doors, their stories a tapestry of joy and sorrow, their bonds a testament to the enduring power of the human-animal connection. But there was something special about the bond between Officer Donovan and Rex, a depth of connection that resonated with her own experiences, her own love for animals, her own understanding of the healing power of companionship. She offered her support, her voice gentle but firm, her words carrying a message of hope and possibility. "There are options, Officer Donovan," she said, her eyes filled with a compassionate understanding. "We can find a good home for Rex, a place where he can live out his days in peace and comfort." But Officer Donovan, his heart torn between his duty and his affection for Rex, hesitated, his mind wrestling with the options, his emotions a turbulent sea of conflicting desires. He knew that Rex deserved a loving home, a place where he could be cherished and cared for, his sacrifices honored, his spirit allowed to heal. But the thought of parting with him, of severing the bond they had forged, of losing the companionship that had become an integral part of his life, filled him with a sense of dread, a loneliness that mirrored the emptiness he had felt after his father's death. He looked at Rex, his eyes pleading for understanding, his voice a choked whisper. "I don't know if I can do that, Doc," he said, his words carrying the weight of his dilemma. He's more than just a partner to me. He's family." Dr. Harris, her heart touched by his vulnerability, his words echoing her own sentiments, nodded slowly, her understanding a silent reassurance. She knew the challenges he faced, the difficult decision that lay before him, the choice between duty and love, between letting go and holding on. And as the silence stretched between them, the only sound the rhythmic beeping of the heart monitor that tracked Rex's vital signs, a new possibility emerged, a solution that would honor their bond, a chance for healing and a new beginning for both man and dog. The waiting room, a sterile space filled with the hushed whispers of worried pet owners and the occasional whimper of an anxious animal, offered little comfort to Officer Donovan as he grappled with the difficult decision that lay before him. He couldn't bear the thought of parting with Rex, his loyal partner, his confidant, the dog who had become an extension of himself. But he also knew that Rex deserved a loving home, a place where he could be cherished and cared for, his sacrifices honored, his spirit allowed to heal. He couldn't bear the thought of condemning him to a life confined to a kennel, his days filled with boredom and loneliness, his spirit slowly fading with the loss of his purpose. As he wrestled with his thoughts, a figure emerged from the shadows of the hallway, its presence a quiet disruption to the sterile atmosphere. It was Jack, the homeless man he had encountered in the alleyway weeks ago, his weathered face etched with concern, his eyes filled with a warmth that belied his ragged appearance. He approached Officer Donovan, his voice a raspy whisper in the quiet room. "Officer," he said, his words carrying a hesitant respect, "I heard about what happened to your dog. I'm so sorry." Officer Donovan, surprised by his presence, his heart touched by the man's unexpected concern, nodded gratefully. "Thank you," he replied, his voice heavy with emotion. It's been a tough day, Jack." His gaze shifting towards Rex, who lay quietly on the examination table, his bandaged leg a testament to his sacrifice, felt a surge of empathy for the dog and his handler. He had witnessed their bond, their connection a beacon of light in the darkness of the city streets, their friendship a reminder of the compassion that could exist even in the harshest of environments. He had often thought of Rex in the weeks since their encounter, his memory a comforting presence in his own solitary struggles. He had missed the dog's visits, his gentle nudges, his warm fur against his weathered hands, his companionship a brief respite from the loneliness that had become his constant companion. And now, learning of Rex's injury, his career as a police dog cut short, his future uncertain, he felt a deep sense of gratitude for the dog's past kindness, a responsibility to repay the loyalty and affection that had been so freely given. He looked at Officer Donovan, his eyes filled with a determined sincerity, his voice firm despite the tremor of emotion that ran through him. "Officer," he said, his words carrying the weight of his offer, "If you're having trouble finding a home for Rex, I'd be honored to take him in, Officer Donovan." His surprise evident in his widened eyes. His heart touched by the man's unexpected generosity, hesitated, his mind struggling to comprehend the offer, his emotions a mix of gratitude and disbelief. He looked at Jack, his gaze searching the man's face, his instincts assessing his sincerity, his heart recognizing the genuine compassion that shone through his weathered exterior. He thought of Rex, his loyal partner, his friend, his family, and the possibility of a new life for him, a life filled with love and companionship, a chance to heal and find peace in the company of this kind and gentle soul. He smiled, his voice thick with emotion as he accepted the offer, his words carrying a profound sense of gratitude and a renewed hope for the future. "Thank you, Jack," he said, his hand reaching out to grasp the man's, their handshake a sealing of their agreement, a testament to the unexpected connection that had blossomed between them, a bridge between their different worlds, a promise of a new beginning for both man and dog. The transition from the bustling world of police work to the quiet companionship of a homeless man was a jarring one for Rex. He missed the adrenaline rush of the chase, the thrill of pursuing suspects, the satisfaction of a successful apprehension. He missed the camaraderie of his fellow K-9 officers, their playful barks and shared understanding of their unique role in the police force. But he also found a different kind of fulfillment in his new life with Jack. He had always been a sensitive dog, his empathy for others a trait that had often surprised his handlers. Now, his compassion found a new outlet in his bond with Jack, his protective instincts extending beyond the realm of law enforcement to encompass the vulnerable man who had become his new companion. They spent their days exploring the city together, their footsteps a familiar rhythm on the sidewalks and alleyways. Rex, his keen senses always alert, would guide Jack through the maze of streets, his presence a reassuring comfort in the face of the city's unpredictable energy. He would lead Jack to the best spots for finding discarded food, his nose twitching, his tail wagging excitedly as he unearthed a half-eaten sandwich or a forgotten bag of groceries. He would stand guard as Jack slept, his body a protective barrier against the dangers of the night, his soft growls a warning to any who dared approach. He would even accompany Jack on his scavenging expeditions, his keen eyes scanning the overflowing dumpsters for treasures that might bring a smile to his companion's face, his gentle nudges and playful barks a celebration of their shared discoveries. Jack, his heart filled with gratitude for Rex's unwavering loyalty and companionship, found a renewed sense of purpose in caring for the dog who had become his lifeline. He would groom Rex's fur, his calloused hands gentle as he brushed away the dirt and grime of the city streets, his touch a testament to the affection he felt for his furry friend. He would share his meager meals with Rex, their bond deepening with each shared bite, their connection a silent language of gratitude and shared experience. He would talk to Rex, his voice a low rumble in the quiet corners of their makeshift shelters, his words carrying stories of his past, his regrets, his hopes for a future he had almost given up on. Rex, his intelligent eyes reflecting the flickering flames of their campfire, would listen intently, his head cocked to one side, his occasional whimpers and soft growls a testament to his understanding. He would nuzzle Jack's hand, his warmth a comforting presence, his loyalty a silent promise of unwavering support. And as the weeks turned into months, their bond deepened, their shared experiences weaving a tapestry of friendship, trust, and the enduring power of connection in the face of adversity. They were two souls, adrift in the sea of life's challenges, their encounter a lifeline, their companionship a raft that carried them towards a shore of healing and hope. The city, a concrete jungle teeming with life and shadowed corners, became a shared landscape for Jack and Rex, their bond a beacon of warmth amidst the impersonal bustle. They navigated the streets together, their presence a familiar sight to the shop owners and vendors who had grown accustomed to their quiet companionship. Jack, his weathered face softened by Rex's unwavering loyalty, found a renewed sense of purpose in caring for the dog who had become his lifeline. He would spend his days collecting recyclable cans and bottles, his earnings a meager but honest living that allowed him to provide for Rex's needs and his own. He would share his meals with Rex, their bond deepening with each shared bite, their connection a silent language of gratitude and shared experience. He would talk to Rex, his voice a low rumble in the quiet corners of their makeshift shelters, his words carrying stories of his past, his regrets, his hopes for a future he had almost given up on. Rex, his intelligent eyes reflecting the flickering flames of their campfire, would listen intently, his head cocked to one side, his occasional whimpers and soft growls a testament to his understanding. He would nuzzle Jack's hand, his warmth a comforting presence, his loyalty a silent promise of unwavering support. And as the weeks turned into months, their bond deepened, their shared experiences weaving a tapestry of friendship, trust, and the enduring power of connection in the face of adversity. They were two souls, adrift in the sea of life's challenges, their encounter a lifeline, their companionship a raft that carried them towards a shore of healing and hope. One evening, as they sat by their usual fire in a secluded alleyway, the flames casting dancing shadows on the brick walls, Jack, his voice heavy with emotion, shared a story he had never told before, a confession that revealed the depths of his past and the scars that had shaped his life. He spoke of his childhood, his dreams of becoming a firefighter, his admiration for his father, a decorated veteran of the Seattle Fire Department. He recounted the day his father had died in the line of duty, a tragic accident that had shattered his world, his hero's sacrifice leaving an indelible mark on his young soul. He spoke of his own enlistment in the army, his desire to follow in his father's footsteps, his experiences in the war zone, the horrors he had witnessed, the friends he had lost, the trauma that had left him wounded and broken. He confessed his struggles with PTSD, the nightmares that haunted his sleep, the flashbacks that transported him back to the battlefield, the guilt and shame that had weighed him down for years. He spoke of his failed marriage, his inability to connect with his children, his retreat from the world, his homelessness a symbol of his inability to find his place in a society that seemed to have no room for his wounded spirit. Rex, his senses attuned to Jack's emotional turmoil, nuzzled his hand, his warmth a comforting presence, his silent understanding a balm to his troubled soul. He listened patiently as Jack poured out his heart, his presence a silent witness to his vulnerability, his acceptance a testament to the unconditional love that could exist between man and beast. And as Jack spoke, his voice cracking with emotion, his tears tracing paths through the grime on his cheeks, he felt a weight lifting from his shoulders, a release of the burden he had carried for so long. He realized that he was not alone, that he had found a companion, a confidant, a furry friend who accepted him without judgment, whose loyalty and love offered him a glimmer of hope in the darkness of his past. He looked at Rex, his eyes reflecting the flickering flames, his presence a beacon of warmth and acceptance. He knew that he had found more than just a dog in the alleyway that night. He had found a lifeline, a connection to the world, a chance to heal and rediscover the humanity he had almost lost in the shadows of his past. The bond between Jack and Rex deepened with the sharing of their stories, their vulnerability forging a connection that transcended their differences. Jack, his heart touched by Rex's unwavering loyalty and unconditional love, found a renewed sense of purpose in caring for the dog who had become his lifeline. He took on odd jobs, his earnings now dedicated to providing for Rex's needs, his pride in being able to care for his companion a stark contrast to the shame he had felt in his homelessness. He found a small, abandoned shed in a quiet corner of the city, its leaky roof and drafty walls offering a meager shelter, but its seclusion a haven from the harsh realities of the streets. He cleaned the shed, his calloused hands transforming the dilapidated space into a cozy den for Rex and himself. He gathered discarded blankets and cushions, creating a makeshift bed for them to share, their warmth a comfort against the cold nights. He would spend his days exploring the city with Rex, their footsteps a familiar rhythm on the sidewalks and alleyways. He would guide Rex to the best spots for finding discarded food, his nose twitching, his tail wagging excitedly as he unearthed a half-eaten sandwich or a forgotten bag of groceries. He would sit with Rex in the park, watching the children play, their laughter a bittersweet reminder of the family he had lost, their innocence a spark of hope in the darkness of his memories. He would talk to Rex, his voice a low rumble in the quiet corners of their world, his words carrying stories of his past, his regrets, his dreams for a future he now dared to envision. Rex, his intelligent eyes reflecting the changing seasons, would listen intently, his head cocked to one side, his occasional whimpers and soft growls a testament to his understanding. He would nuzzle Jack's hand, his warmth a comforting presence, his loyalty a silent promise of unwavering support. And as the months turned into a year, their bond grew stronger, their shared experiences weaving a tapestry of friendship, trust, and the enduring power of connection in the face of adversity. They were two souls, once lost and alone, now finding solace and redemption in each other's company. Their journey a testament to the transformative power of the human-animal bond. One day, as they were walking through the park, a familiar figure approached them, his uniform a stark contrast to the casual attire of the other parkgoers. It was Officer Donovan, his face etched with a mix of concern and a hesitant smile, his eyes searching for Rex, his heart filled with a curiosity about the dog's fate and the man who had offered him a home. He had kept track of Jack and Rex, his inquiries discreet but persistent, his concern for his former partner a testament to the bond they had shared. He had learned of their new life together, their companionship a source of admiration and a quiet reassurance that Rex had found a loving home. He approached them, his voice a friendly greeting, his words carrying a mix of gratitude and respect. "Jack," he said, extending his hand towards the old man. "It's good to see you." "And Rex," he added, his gaze shifting towards the dog, his voice softening with affection. "It's good to see you, boy." Rex, his tail wagging excitedly, his body wiggling with joy, greeted his former handler with enthusiastic barks and playful licks, his affection a testament to the bond they had forged in their years of service together. Officer Donovan, his heart warmed by the reunion, knelt beside Rex, his hand gently stroking the dog's fur, his voice a soft murmur of appreciation. "You look good, Rex," he said, his words carrying a hint of sadness for the partnership they had lost, but also a deep gratitude for the happiness he had found. He looked at Jack, his eyes filled with respect and admiration. "Thank you, Jack," he said, his voice sincere. "Thank you for taking care of him." Jack, his weathered face creased with a humble smile, nodded, his voice a gruff rumble. "It's my pleasure, officer," he replied. "He's a good dog. He's been a good friend." They stood together for a moment, their shared silence a testament to the connection they had forged, the bond between man and dog a bridge between their different worlds, their encounter a reminder of the unexpected friendships that could blossom in the most unlikely of circumstances. And as they parted ways, their footsteps echoing through the park, their figures fading into the tapestry of the city, they carried with them the memory of their shared journey, a testament to the enduring power of compassion, loyalty, and the transformative power of the human-animal bond. Time, the relentless tide, continued its ebb and flow, shaping the landscape of the city and the lives of its inhabitants. The skyscrapers reached higher, their glass facades reflecting the ever-changing skyline. The streets buzzed with a constant energy, the symphony of traffic and human voices a testament to the city's vibrant pulse. Jack, his weathered face now softened by the warmth of companionship and the healing power of friendship, continued to navigate the streets of Seattle, his presence a familiar sight to the shop owners and vendors who had grown accustomed to his quiet demeanor and the loyal dog by his side. Rex, his once sharp senses now dulled by age, his gait a bit slower, his fur streaked with gray, remained a steadfast companion, his loyalty unwavering, his love for Jack a constant source of comfort and strength. They had faced challenges together, overcome adversity, and found solace in their shared journey, their bond a testament to the enduring power of the human-animal connection. They would often be seen sitting together in the park, their figures silhouetted against the backdrop of the bustling city, their shared silence a symphony of understanding and acceptance. Jack, his weathered hands gently stroking Rex's fur, would tell him stories of his past, his voice a low rumble that carried the echoes of his experiences, his regrets, his hopes for a future that now seemed brighter, filled with the warmth of companionship and the promise of redemption. Rex, his head resting on Jack's lap, his eyes half closed in contentment, would listen intently, his occasional whimpers and soft growls a testament to his understanding, his presence a comforting anchor in the sea of Jack's emotions. Their story, a tale of unexpected friendship and the transformative power of connection, spread through the city, its ripples touching the hearts of those who heard it. People were inspired by their bond, their resilience in the face of adversity, their ability to find solace and healing in the most unexpected of circumstances. The local newspaper published an article about them, their photograph capturing the essence of their companionship, their story a reminder of the compassion and empathy that could exist even in the harshest of environments. The article sparked a wave of support for Jack and Rex, donations pouring in from those who were touched by their story, their generosity a testament to the belief in the power of the human-animal bond. Jack, overwhelmed by the kindness and support, found himself with a new opportunity, a chance to rebuild his life, to find a place in the community that had once seemed so distant. He used the donations to secure a small apartment, a humble abode that offered him and Rex a safe haven from the streets, a place where they could rest and recharge, their bond a source of strength and stability in their new beginning. He found a job at a local bookstore, his love for literature rekindled by the quiet atmosphere and the company of fellow bookworms. He shared his story with his colleagues, his voice trembling with emotion as he recounted his journey with Rex, his gratitude for the dog's unwavering loyalty and companionship evident in his every word. His colleagues, touched by his story, embraced him with open arms, their friendship a welcome addition to his life, their support a testament to the community's willingness to offer second chances and to celebrate the transformative power of connection. And as the years passed, Jack and Rex continued their journey together, their bond a beacon of hope in the bustling city, their story a reminder of the enduring power of compassion, loyalty, and the unwavering spirit that could be found in the most unexpected of friendships.